Have you been waiting for GTA home prices to fall before making your move? Well, they have. The average home price across the GTA is now just over $1 million, down about 4.5% compared to last year. So that should mean buyers have all the power, right? Actually, no, because while prices were falling, something much bigger happened. Nearly 18% fewer homeowners decided to sell their homes this July. Think about that. The market didn't suddenly gain buyers, it lost sellers. And when supply starts disappearing faster than demand, the entire market begins to change. Today I'm breaking down the latest July numbers from the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, explaining what they actually mean and, more importantly, what you should do next if you are buying, selling, investing, or simply trying to decide whether waiting still makes sense. Welcome back. If you are new here, I'm Jyoti Shamnani, Realtor with Engel & Walkers. Every month, I read through the TREB Market Watch report so you don't have to. My goal isn't just to tell you what happened. It is to help you understand what the numbers actually mean for your next move. If that's the kind of real estate advice you are looking for, subscribe to the channel and let's jump into July's numbers. Let's talk about 4 numbers that matter. And let's start with the headline. There are 4 numbers that tell almost the entire story. Number 1, sales. There were 5,995 homes sold across the GTA in July. That's down only 0.9% from last July, which tells me something important. Buyers haven't disappeared. They are simply being more selective. Number 2, new listings. This is where things get interesting. Only 14,484 new homes came into the market. That's a massive 17.8% drop compared to last year. Imagine that last July, 100 homeowners decided to sell. This year, only 82 did. And that's a dramatic reduction in fresh inventory entering the market. Number 3, active listings. There are now 26,098 homes available across the GTA. That's about 12% fewer homes than last year. Now, buyers still have choices, but those choices are shrinking month over month. Number 4, price. The average GTA home sold for $1,03,956. That's down 4.5% year over year. The home price index tells the exact same story, falling 4.6%. So yes, prices are still lower than last year, but here is the part most people miss. Prices can fall. At the same time, competition begins increasing. And that's exactly what these numbers are starting to show. Let's talk about why this market feels so confusing. If you are wondering, how can prices be falling while the market is tightening? And here is the answer. Think of the housing market like a grocery store. Imagine every week the store puts out 100 apples. Suddenly, they only put out 82 apples. Even if the number of shoppers stay exactly the same, those apples now become harder to get. And that's exactly what's happening. Sales haven't collapsed, supply has. And supply usually moves prices before demand does. That's why TREB itself says that if this trend continues, prices could begin leveling off during the second half of the year. Now let's see which homes are performing best. Now let's look at where buyers are actually spending their money. Detached homes continue averaging around 1.29 million. Prices are down about 5%, but detached sales actually increased slightly in Toronto. That tells me buyers who can afford detached homes are beginning to step back into the market. Semi-detached homes experience the largest price correction, averaging just under $965,000. Townhouses averaged around $817,000, while Toronto townhouses sales actually increased, and condos, this surprised me. The average condo apartment is now around $636,000 with prices down only about 2%, while condo sales actually have increased. To me, this one of the biggest takeaways from the report. Entry-level buyers are becoming active again. That's often where market recoveries begin. Let's talk about rates, confidence, and the fall market. Of course, we can't talk about housing without talking about interest rates. The Bank of Canada Canada's overnight rate remains at 2.3%. Prime sits at 4.5%. Inflation is at 2.8%. And according to TREB's Chief Information Officer, recent economic news has actually been better than expected. Growth has become stronger. Employment has surprised to the upside, and that could improve buyer confidence heading into the fall. And here is my interpretation. Many buyers haven't been waiting for cheaper homes. They have been waiting to feel more confident. Those are two very different things. So let's see what this means for buyers. If you are buying, here is what I would be thinking. Today, there are still over 26,000 homes available. Homes are taking roughly a month to sell. Most sellers are receiving around 97% of their asking price. So, there is still room to negotiate, but that negotiating room is slowly getting smaller. If inventory continues falling through August and September, the conversations this fall may look very different from the conversations we've been having all summer. Markets rarely announce when they have reached the bottom. They simply stop getting worse. Let's see what this means for sellers. If you are selling, this report actually contains good news. You have fewer competing listings than sellers did last year. That means your home has better chance of standing out. But don't mistake that for permission to overprice. Today's buyers know the market. They have done their homework. The homes that are priced correctly, marketed properly, and presented well are selling. The ones chasing yesterday's price are still sitting. Now, here is what I am watching next month. Whenever I finish reading these reports, I ask myself one question: what could change next? Here are the 4 things I will be watching in August. First, do new listings continue falling? Second, do buyers return after Labor Day? Third, does inventory fall below 25,000 homes? And fourth, does consumer confidence continue improving? If 3 of those 4 happen, I think we will be talking about a very different market this fall. So if I had to summarize July in one sentence, prices are still lower than last year, but the market underneath those prices is quietly becoming more competitive. July wasn't a dramatic month. It was an important one because markets don't usually announce they have changed. They whisper first. And I think July may have been that whisper. So if you found this breakdown helpful, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button and subscribed for next month's update. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. Do you think the bottom is in for the GTA housing market, or do you think prices still have room to fall? If you're planning to buy, sell, or invest this year and want a strategy based on your specific goals, not just the headlines, you will find a link to book a consultation in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.